I also experience what is referred to as malodorance. This is the alteration of the smell sensation so that I am often made to smell various things, including smoke, burning, dirty diaper, or baby powder, which they sometimes combine with the pedophilia type of torture, including the threat of planted dreams and videos, including highly disturbing pedophilia type of images and videos This involves the projection of voices, noises, and music directly into my mind to communicate with me in real time and at the speed of thought. And it also includes the manipulation of thoughts, emotions, and perceptions in the person's mind. Additionally, the targeting is all highly perverted and sexual, as well as destructive and violent.
As a person, is somebody trying to take over my mind, putting thoughts of pedophiles, like this disgusting thing. You saw where I was going with that? Who I am as a person is somebody trying to take over my mind, putting thoughts of pedophiles, like this disgusting thing. You saw where I was going with that first word. Disgusting things that I don't even want to talk about because it makes me sick. I don't even like those words in my mind. But it is what it is. So I have no choice now but to acknowledge that there are people in my surroundings or whatever they're doing. I don't know how they do it. I don't care. I don't know if it's through weapons. I don't know. I don't care.
Logically specialized for each target. Most common examples include homosexual targets that are forced with voices that are derogatory to their lifestyle and similar mental images. Almost all targets are forced to view child pornography in their minds.
Told them I'm going to make you pay for all of the years of torture that I've taken, and all you are going to hear is aggravation. For every single second of my privacy that you have taken away. From me and my family. Then said this: the slaves began a program of perversion. First was with my dog. I am very playful with my pet, and suddenly one day that I was petting him I felt strange, in the sense of the word. I thought, this is strange, and then afterwards that strange sensation continued. Then in that moment I realized that was impost, so I thought, look at this losers, don't know how to put me down, and they are doing this. So I told them that I know what you are trying to do, and I started laughing. And then I said again out loud, you'll never take my will, ASS. So just to show them that I meant what I said, I kept playing with my dog, and even though that attacks continue, I don't let them get me. Today they continue with the programming of perversion, but this time they are aiming in the use of people, better said young people, also children and homosexuals. When I aggravated them I usually called demeaning names, and one of them is referring to homosexuals. For me all of this slaves are misfits, society haters, scumbags, etc. No, I don't have anything personal against them, homosexuals, but as my way to aggravate the slaves, and since they love to use children for the torture and stalking, street theater etc. Especially teenagers for the stalking at close range with an attitude, they are using them during my sleep in the perversion program, and so you can imagine what the slaves of torture are pretending to do to me. In the last days, as today September 9th, 07, anything I do, either watching TV or reading of whatever I'm doing, they brush me sort of say, I feel like I'm aroused all day and I feel the palpitations in my genitals for what I'm thinking, and since the attack comes so quickly I realized my programming has been set on auto, in their central computers, no handlers could do something like this that quick. What made me realized, the slaves are desperate to get me. Unfortunately for them they are facing a strong wall where no matter how much their computers EAP me, I know I'm not changing. As I said, I feel like they've been set up a beam where I feel constantly stimulated. I'm talking sexually, like a heat in my genitalia, like getting aroused constantly, trying to make me feel uncomfortable, because it doesn't stop. It happen even when I go sleep. Whatever thought it comes to my mind would happen.
When I was put through recruitment into the intel community, you're put through polygraphs, you're put through a rigorous selection process. Why aren't these people weeded out? Why are so many pedophiles allowed to be given top-level security clearance? Remember, these aren't just people walking in off the street and saying, hey, can I get hired? Can I get a job? You're put through an extremely rigorous background check screening process. It's called an SSBI, single scope background investigation. There are people, they interview you, they interview your family, they interview your contacts, they go through your online footprint, they go through everything. So why is it that when they're going through these footprints, they're not checking these digital footprints. They're not checking for so many pedophiles getting through their ranks. If it were up to me, you need to go into Congress, and Congress needs to launch a brand new church committee, number one, to talk about domestic surveillance operations, but number two, to ask the question, why are there so many pedophiles sitting behind those computer screens within the walls of Langley, within the Pentagon, and throughout the broader intelligence community?
All right. Like I said, I will continue to bring reality, as much as they try to counter reality. However they can. They call it being at war. But what you just heard is something you heard many times. But at the end, you heard who is truly the pedophiles in this situation. These agencies that contract these bottom feeders are filled with pedophiles. You hear these things where these people, while on assignment, are downloading child porn. Listen to this for a second.
That's a direct quote.
Children, says BuzzFeed, including the viewing of images of abuse, have been uncovered at other agencies that handle sensitive information. In a November 2009 report, the Department of Defense acknowledged that dozens of Pentagon staff members or contractors had such images. In 2014, the Inspector General of the Intelligence Community found that two officials from the National Reconnaissance Office, which oversees America's spy satellites, acknowledged viewing images of child sexual abuse during polygraph examinations. This is so disturbing. At a symposium in 2016, Daniel Payne, a top Pentagon security official, said that when workers' computers were examined, the amount of child porn I see is just unbelievable. Is this something that is happening?
Think about that. The CIA. That must mean there is such a lack of fearing any sort of accountability. For crying out loud, while on assignment, 1,400? You must have not been doing any job.
Well, even if you had to look at it to make sure you knew what it was, don't you just need to look at one?
Right.
You're like, I better check the other 1,399 just to be safe.
Yes, I better check the other 1,300 labeled tax things. Unbelievable.
Oh, my goodness.
And the guy with the 6-year-old? Twice. Yeah, twice with the 6-year-old. So and here's the scariest part, out of the 10 instances that are described in the report, only one person was ever charged with anything. Wow. Yeah. With anything. Comment below. Do you guys know this story? This should be catnip for the media, right? Think about it. You've got this lewd behavior. You've got corruption at the highest levels of government, right? Aaron Brockovich, something about fake tits and tap water.
Yeah.
The CIA, raping children and sexually...
So, obviously, like I said, humiliation of reality is what they try to counter. If I was saying what they were trying to do to counter what I was listening to, it's just comical. It's comical on another level. Now, why am I making this video? Once again, is to say things I've said before. I don't need to speak that much anymore. I just need to just listen to the same things that validates me. I said before that they do this pedophilia type of torture, and they say we matched it to you when you were a kid, right? Now you understand these people analyzing me, catching me, are the same people who are contracted by these entities that have issues with pedophilia. Now, you obviously hear that other target individuals say that they do this nasty manipulation that's pedophilia-centric. And it's just nasty. It's foul and it's disturbing. It breaks people down. That's why they do it. And that's the things they're going to continuously do. It's what they have been doing. It's what they will be continuously doing. But with me, they try to make me believe that what I'm experiencing is just what you experienced when you were a kid. And then they do like this pedophilia type of torture. And, when they do this to little girls, like, for example, the last video, I don't know if I'm going to put it here, but there was this little girl, and they were saying, like, this is like, we matched it to you when you were a kid. And then try to come up with things they put together. There's moments where they try to add stimulations where they're none, right? I remember there's one when in 2000, December, just turned 12 years old. Turned 13 years old. Was that? Yeah, just turned 13 years old in December 2000. And they try to add the stimulation they make me experience today, and it's like, you see, we're just matching it to that. It's like, no, you're making me you make me experience the same thing right now. Like, you make me experience this stimulation and then put that as me as a child. As you can see, it's hard for me to speak, but as I know that there'll be a time where I won't be able to speak, I'd rather say that now. As I'm saying that, somebody's like bastard because they wanted to say the other way around. And so, as they want me to subscribe to these things, it's obvious it's them manipulating me, right? And then they go into my memories, add the same stimulations that I'm experiencing today, and say, hey, we matched it. Now, it's ridiculous to think that, and you as an adult, we're going to make you think the way you think when you just turned 13 years old. When you just hit puberty, no, not even puberty, hit teenagehood 2 months, about 2 months within your teenagehood, right? They create these things where they want you to subscribe to it. Obviously, it's them doing these things to me, but then try to get you to accept to these manipulations. They're like, no, you felt like that when you were a kid. No, it's what you make me feel today. You heard other testimonies, that's what you do. But what they try to do is like they try to make it seem like that's what you felt like when you were a kid. And so with me, they're like, oh, little girls, that's how you felt toward little girls. I'm saying that right now. They even give me the stimulation once again that they implant in so many other things. And it's them forcing me to experience this. It's disgusting, but it's what they do. It's disturbing. And try to mimic stimulation and to make you feel like you felt like that when you were 9 years old. You felt like it's just crazy. But it's what they do. You heard that they've been doing the perfect type of torture, and they've been doing it for a while. And they try to make you accept that this thing is somehow matched to you and for me it's like, oh, little girls is true, little boys is fake. No, it's because I almost not raised a little boy, but I was around a little boy not too long ago. And so manipulating that will be like, okay, so what happened then? Right? Versus I've not raised a little girl or been around a little girl to like long enough to just like, to show like this thing. Look at the picture of me and my this little girl. I don't. And so they try to make you subscribe to these things and manipulate your memories to have stimulation they make you have now. But they do this pedophilia thing. It's the tactics. It's the way they torment you. Do not subscribe to it. I don't. This back and forth and the way they try to make you feel and whatever. It's like, no, little girls is real, little boys is fake. Oh, this little girls that age is real, this girls that old is fake. Like, this is what you force me to experience. And then try to make it seem like that's what you experienced as a child. You heard this testimony many times. I will continuously bring these testimonies up over and over. I don't care about sounding repetitive, but I just feel like the more I bring it out, I put this out there, they will get what they need to. They've been humiliated to find out the actual pedophiles are the people in these agencies contracted these lowlifes, these bottom feeders. These people who empower them are actually their pedophiles or entities filled with pedophiles, while they're daring to not even say a name they can't even say Roy Moore. Happen to be contracted by entities filled with pedophiles, empowered by entities they're just the trash. They'll try to make you subscribe to a reality they actually live in. Like I said it before. It's like they're projecting. It's like they're projecting the reality they're in. They force you to experience these things. They know the entity they work for are filled with pedophiles. They know they've been doing terrible things to children. They know they've done horrible things to women. It's like projection. To all my target individuals, stay strong and know that justice will be done. It's a funny thing, they try to counter reality, right? Because I say, know that justice will be done. It's like, oh, you're done, right? They like to be. They are kind of scared of the fact that this is going to come back to them, so they like to block it out by any means. Justice will be done the same way. Justice will be done for the things they've done to us, target individual. As right now they are gods. As right now it's their world. They are just bottom feeders. I'm not worried about these bottom feeders, but I'm saying for the people really on top of this, These people who are most likely around pedophiles in the sense that they are in these entities filled with pedophiles, justice will be done. Now, for these bottom feeders here, for sure, this is not even it's not even a given. Please understand, these people that you see around you involved in the perping, and these people, in a matter of, it's not going to take long for that to happen. They're just the bottom feeders. It's just a matter of time that things come back for what they've done, for the godlike fantasies they created, for the pedophilia type of torture they try to gaslight you to accepting. This will be reimbursed properly, and justice will be done for their involvement and for trying to break people down in this fashion.